on the inside, the Ktm 390 Duke is a revolution of a bike packed with features to the gills. The most important feature that will enhance the riding experience of the 390 Duke is going to be the ride-by-wire throttle. It is more than just the absence of a throttle cable. It is the guarantee of a smooth throttle response where rider throttle movement is going to be aided with sensors, and that will make the throttle response much smoother, much more controlled and measured. The LED headlamp that we saw in the design is a piece of art. Of course, inspiration from the 1290 Super Duke comes across clearly, but in itself, it is highly, it's a great safety feature on the bike because it makes the bike highly visible to others on the road. 20 LEDs that give the outer illumination, and being LEDs, it is also better for the battery consumption. The TFT display on the 390 Duke is again something which is not available in bikes segments above this class. And the 390 Duke boasts of a beautiful, colorful TFT display that will allow the rider to see the data and information in a clear and precise manner. The TFT will be ambient light adaptive. That means if the light outside is harsh or it is dull, the TFT will adapt itself so that the data information, etc., is always clear. It will change colors at high revs so that whenever you are at a higher rev, the fonts, etc., become larger, so it's much easier for you to read them when you're going faster. And with the KTM MyRide, the TFT is also enabled to pair with a smartphone, which means through the handlebar, you can see if someone's calling you, park your bike and take the call, and if you are also listening to music, change music tracks as well. So a highly advanced TFT display console comes on the 390 Duke. A new side sling exhaust, which made of aluminum canister, keeping the weight low, helps the bike get a big bike look, centralized masses, and also is better for emissions. An all-new dual-color split frame with a bolt-on subframe is new to the bike. It will be equally responsive as the outgoing frame and yet easier to maintain since it's a split frame. The bike maintains the lightweight steel trellis frame and the nimble handling on the 390 Duke continues. Adjustable levers on the bike, both on the clutch and the brake, will help riders to choose their comfort level basis their hand size and glove thickness, and also reduce stress for the rider when he's riding. An all-new open cartridge USD suspension on the bike, adjustable for height, better for leakage prevention, and a much improved ride quality for the rider. Slipper clutch, introduced on the 2016 model, continues on the bike, eliminating rear wheel chatter and allowing for faster and smoother cornering for the 390 Duke. More features include a larger, bigger front brake with a larger rotor of 320 mm, greater stopping power for the bike, an all-new large steel fuel tank of 13.5 liters, which easily provides the bike with more than 100 kilometer range over the outgoing model. Wider rear view mirrors, ensuring that it's much more easier for the rider to see bikes behind him and traffic behind him. A new UV resistant paint on the bike, which means that the color of the bike doesn't fade even with exposure to sunlight over years. It is also much easier to crank the new 390 Duke with a one-touch, soft-touch cranking. It's a contactless cranking system wherein there is no physical contact of strips when the bike is cranked, and in fact, it is magnetically induced. The new evap system, which prevents the loss of fuel due to evaporation and instead purges the fuel back into circulation and easily increases the fuel efficiency by 4 to 5%. ABS by Bosch on the 390 Duke continues, a dual channel ABS, to remind you, and by Bosch, so the safety standards on the 390 Duke are unmatched. So as we saw, With a cutting edge and a radical new design, the 390 Duke stands apart, not just in its segment, but bikes from above its segment as well. The list of features in the 390 Duke are also unique and exhaustive in its class. No other bike can boast of such figures and performance figures like the 390 Duke, a power to weight of almost 268 PS per ton, trellis frame, aluminum swing arm, USD front forks, ride-by-wire, ABS, a TFT display, LED headlamps, and a slipper clutch. For a customer looking to enter the KTM family, the 200 Duke has been a hugely popular bike, and we have some news on that front as well. This is the 2017 all-new KTM Duke 200. Refreshed design, orange rims, and 3 color options as before. That is how it looks different from the outgoing model. So fresh graphics, 3 colors, orange wheels, and BS4 compliance on the KTM 200 Duke for 2017. There are reasons why this hugely popular bike is a favorite among people. Its highly playful nature comes from the fact that it has a trellis frame, which is lightweight, enables better handling. The aluminum swing arm, which is again lightweight and rigid for exceptional handling. The multifunctional digital cockpit, which has a host of information for the rider to use. The underbelly exhaust, which is great for centralizing the mass of the bike, aiding better handling and a lower CG. The rear monoshock by WP, 10-step adjustable, much better for bike handling and made by race suspension specialist WP. This means that the 200 Duke even today stands apart from competition right from its European origins and its design, being a street fighter and a 25 PS bike with a 169 PS per ton power to weight ratio, and features like trellis frame, aluminum swing arm, and upside down front forks being unique to the KTM 200 Duke. With this, we complete our range for 2017 for India with the KTM Dukes. Or do we? To take the presentation further and launch the 2017 KTM Dukes, I would like to invite Mr. Amit Nandi, President Pro Biking, on stage.
Good afternoon, everybody. So like Neeraj said, this is what the 2017 range is about. Having done this, we thought that it would be just very unfair if we did not offer our tens of thousands of 200 Duke customers an opportunity to upgrade, and that's what brings us to the wild card of the day, which is the KTM 250 Duke. And I specifically hope that all our fans who are watching through the webcast, I'm sure this is something which will excite you. That's how the bike looks. Again, it has the same design philosophy, the language of the 390 Duke and the 1290 Super Duke in a smaller but potent package. Some more angles to look at the bike. There's a color option, an orange one, and this is the white bike. Those are the two colors side by side. Coming down to the specifics of the product, 250 cc, 30 PS power, 24 Newton meter torque, Super Duke styling, a host of premium features which I'll talk about, and two colors. Styling we've already seen and spoken about. The 250 Duke has the split trellis frame of the 390 Duke. I'll not run through the advantages of it. Neeraj has already covered. It has the open cartridge USD suspension of the 390 Duke. Very attractive and sporty slide slung exhaust. Aluminium swing arm, which is very core to KTM. And the 250 Duke also gets a slipper clutch. How does the 250 Duke compare with competition? I'll first draw your attention to the power to weight ratio at 186 PS per ton. It's way ahead of the Japanese competitors as well as the Mahindra Mojo. I'll draw your attention to the power figures of 30 PS. It is comparable to the slightly bigger displacement BMW at 30 PS versus 34 PS. Torque wise 24 Newton meters versus 28. And if you look at the features, it's the only bike to have a slipper clutch amongst those it's been compared with. Very few of them have a multifunction cockpit, the one that's there in the 250 Duke. Trellis frame, the only product to have it. Aluminium swing arm, none of the Japanese or Indian competitors have it. USD forks, not everybody has it. So this nicely lays out how what are the kind of features which are there in the individual products and the variants of the Duke series. So these are the features which is common to the 250 and the 390. The styling, the slipper clutch, the split frame, the exhaust, the USD suspension, and a larger fuel tank, 13.5 liters, and a metal one at that. The features which are exclusive to the 390 Duke are the ride-by-wire, the TFT display, the LED headlamp, and the ABS with a larger disc brake. And then we have the features which run across all the three variants. The trellis frame, the swing arm, and a new electric orange paint. Displacement and power-wise, that's how they stack up. 25 PS, 30 PS, 43.5 PS. So there is, depending on the level of evolution of the rider, there is something for every level. And coming to the portfolio, which Neeraj touched upon. So this completes the KTM portfolio 2017. So the 200 Duke is where that's the entry level product for the brand, which has everything that KTM has to offer at a very, very affordable price. Having come into the fold through the 200 Duke, or in some cases through the RC200, there is an option to upgrade to the 250. And then there are the 390s, a faired one and a naked one, which really makes it very hard for someone to go beyond this into much more expensive so-called super bikes. Because for Indian roads and riding conditions, this is more than enough power that is needed. Coming to the price, the 200 Duke, despite being BS4 and with a refreshed package, continues at the same price. So which in essence, it means that there is actually a price reduction, because if for all competitors, the price is going to go up with the BS4. So at the same price, the entry level 200 Duke is pegged at. The 390 Duke comes in at 225,730 rupees. These are all ex-showroom prices, Delhi. And for the price, it is a fully loaded bike, which features which are not even there in a segment above amongst many of the brands in the market. And then between the two, there is the 250 Duke at 173,000. With that, I'd like to now present the MY17 Duke range to you.
We also need to allow our TV cameraman to cover the bike. So once we are done, we will have ample opportunity to shoot the bike.